The stars at night. Are we finally here, Dad? Asked 5-year-old Jimmy as he impatiently kicked the back of the car seat. Jimmy and his dad had left their house for a camping trip 4 hours ago, and Jimmy was eager to get out of the car. Jimmy's dad peered out the window, and after spotting their campsite, he pulled into their parking spot and put the car into park. "We're here," Jimmy's dad declared. Jimmy climbed out of the car and gazed up at the sky, full of twinkling stars. "How about we grab some blankets from the back of the car and look at the stars before we get unpacked?" Jimmy definitely did not want to unpack, so he agreed and quickly brought out some blankets from the car. As his dad spread the blankets on the ground, Jimmy stared up at the stars in astonishment. Back home, the sky seemed to contain so few stars, but here Jimmy saw so many. They looked like millions of holiday lights flickering. They decorated the night sky. Jimmy and his dad fell back on the blankets and stared up at the night sky. He saw all the different shapes of the stars made up. He could see an outline of a tree, an apple, and a pyramid, which Jimmy pointed out to his dad, and soon he too had found outlines of his own. Jimmy's dad explained that groups of stars that form patterns are called constellations. Jimmy's dad told Jimmy that they were like amateur astronomers studying the night sky. "Look, Jimmy, that group of stars over there looks like a tent. Speaking of that, we should probably get ours set up soon. It's getting late," Jimmy's dad said. Jimmy sighed and started to unpack. That meant no more time to look at the stars. His dad patted him on the back and said, "Don't worry, son. They will be here tomorrow. We can look for more shapes then." Knowing he could look forward to more stargazing, Jimmy smiled and started to get his camping gear out of the car. Soon the tent was up and Jimmy laid out his sleeping bag. "I'm tired. Can we go to sleep?" Jimmy yawned as he climbed into his sleeping bag. His dad nodded and turned off the lantern. Jimmy quickly fell asleep to the sound of crickets chirping while the images of stars flashed in his head. Sunshine washed into the tent the next morning and woke Jimmy up. He rubbed his eyes and seeing that his dad was already up making breakfast, he climbed out of the tent and joined his dad. "Good morning, Jimmy. Did the bright sun wake you up?" Jimmy nodded as he looked up at the sky. All he could see was the bright yellow sun and the clear blue sky. Even though it was a beautiful morning, Jimmy looked disappointed. "Wait, where are all the stars? I thought you said they would be more today," Jimmy questioned, shielding his eyes from the radiant sun. He walked over to his dad and stared, eating a piece of bacon that his dad had finished preparing. "Oh, we have to wait until the nighttime to see those stars, Jimmy," his dad answered. "So there are no stars at all during the day?" Jimmy wondered. As if he were reading Jimmy's thoughts, Jimmy's dad continued, "There is one star that you are guaranteed to see every day: the sun. The sun is, in fact, a medium-sized star." Jimmy glanced at the sun, but quickly turned away from the brightness. "But why is it so bright? I was able to look at the stars last night, but the sun burns my eyes." His dad laughed. "The sun is so bright because it is closer to us. That is why we can't even look at it," his dad informed him. The stars we saw last night are millions of miles, maybe even a billion miles away from us. Since they are so far away from us, the stars are not that bright to our eyes, his dad explained. Jimmy grabbed another piece of bacon off the plate. He looked at his dad thoughtfully and said with a grin, I guess that's why we don't need to wear star glasses. His dad laughed. That's right. The sun is so much closer to us, therefore we can see it better. It is around 90 million miles away from us, which I know seems far, but for a star, that is actually close. During the day, the sun makes our sky so bright that we cannot see much dimmer stars. At night, when the sky is dark, we are able to see the light of the other stars. Jimmy finished his second piece of bacon. So for our hike today, I will need to wear your hat. Because I don't want my eyes to burn. His dad chuckled and put his hat on Jimmy's head. And maybe your sunglasses too, Jimmy added with a smile. Sure, and don't worry. We'll be able to look at all the other stars tonight, his dad replied as he gave Jimmy a piece of toast. Jimmy smiled. He was not worried. Now he knew that once the sky was dark enough, he would be able to see all those stars again. He could not wait. Number 1. What will probably happen at the end of Jimmy and his father's day? A. They will go home since they have a long drive ahead of them. B. Jimmy will be tired from his hike and go to bed early. C. Jimmy and his father will stargaze and find more star shapes. D. Jimmy's father will finish unpacking and set up camp. Number 2. Read this sentence from the selection. It looked like millions of holiday lights flickering, decorating the night sky. The imagery used in this line appeals most to the reader's sense of A. Sight, B. Smell, C. Taste, D. Hearing. Number 3. Which sentence best supports the idea that the sun is Earth's closest star? A. The sun is, in fact, a medium-sized star. B. The sun is much closer to us, therefore, we can see it better. C. Jimmy glanced at the sun, but quickly turned away from the brightness. D. The stars we saw last night were millions of miles, maybe even billion miles away from us. Number 4, which is the best summary for this story? A. Jimmy and his father were on a camping trip. Jimmy noticed all the stars in the night sky. He found groups of stars that made shapes. The next day, Jimmy was disappointed that the stars were gone. Jimmy's dad explained that there was a star that was visible, the sun. Jimmy learned why people see the sun during the day. He was excited for night so that he and his dad could see the stars again. B. Jimmy and his father drove hours to reach their campsite. Once there, they decided to look at stars before unpacking and set up camp. Jimmy could not believe how many stars were in the night sky. Jimmy and his father found groups of stars that made shapes. Finally, Jimmy grew tired, and Jimmy and his father went to sleep in their tent. C. Jimmy and his father were camping. The first night, Jimmy and his father stargazed before setting up their camp. The next morning, Jimmy and his father ate breakfast and they got ready to go on a hike. Jimmy wanted to wear his father's hat, because the sun was so bright. Jimmy was looking forward to the night so that he could look at the stars again. D. Jimmy and his father were camping. Jimmy did not understand why he saw so many stars at night, but not during the day. Jimmy's father explained that the stars seen at night are billions of miles from Earth, but that our sun is visible during the day because it is our closest star. Jimmy tried to look at the sun, but he realized it was too bright. He asked to wear his father's hat to help keep the sun out of his eyes. For number 4, go back and check which gives you the best details, which is the best summary that tells you beginning, middle, and end. Number 5, all of these statements support the idea that Jimmy is confused about stars, except A. So there are no stars at all during the day? Jimmy wondered. B. But why is it so bright? I was able to look at the stars last night, but the sun burns my eyes. C. Wait, where are all the stars? I thought you said there would be more today, Jimmy questioned. Now he knew that once the sky was dark enough, he would be able to see all those stars again. Which one shows that he is not confused? Go back and read the story, check your packet, underline, highlight, read it 3 times if you need to. Don't forget to click the link for the quiz. Bye.